Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or tips you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
And today's show runs on Monday at noon and is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired on Thursday at noon, 3 and 6. Today is December 18th, 2017, and now the news at noon.
According to the Cortez Journal, state lawmakers in Colorado and New Mexico have begun revisiting their sexual misconduct policies. It's part of a wider effort by legislatures around the country to address questions about whether they are doing enough to deter predatory behavior and protect victims. In Colorado, lawmakers voted Friday to hire a consultant to review the legislature's sexual harassment policy. New Mexico lawmakers published a first draft of proposed revisions to sexual harassment rules and disciplinary procedures. Similar moves are underway in California. The efforts are aimed at adding accountability, increasing openness, and protecting those who come forward with accusations at a time when lawmakers in many states have been forced to resign over sexual misconduct claims.
The Journal in Mancos reported on the Mancos Town Board meeting. Last Wednesday, the Mancos Board discussed whether members of the Planning and Zoning Commission should be paid for meetings they do not attend. Right now, Commission members receive $50 for monthly meetings, but the Commission canceled 2 meetings in 2017 because it lacked a quorum, so the Town Board appointed alternates to step in for absent members. Administrator Heather Alvarez asked the Board to consider docking the pay of Commission members who don't attend meetings and paying the alternates who filled in for them. Alvarez said the potential change in compensation would be in line with some past Town Board policies. Before 2012, trustees were paid only for meetings they attended. Before 2015, planning and zoning members were not paid at all. Alternates are still not paid for meetings they attend. The Commission has 5 regular members and needs 3 for a quorum. Most board members spoke up in favor of paying the commissioners 2 alternates for serving on the board. If an alternate has taken the time to read the packet and shows up at every meeting, they ought to get paid to sit up there, Mayor Queenie Bars said. Not everyone agreed on what to do about absent commission members. Some, including Craig Benally, said they would support automatically removing compensation for the month of those who missed a meeting. Cindy Simpson said she would like to find a middle ground to avoid penalizing commission members who miss meetings because of emergencies. But she echoed the concerns of other board members who said something needs to be changed on the commission. Citizens that are coming through with requests are relying on them to show up, she said. I think that expectation needs to be clear that this is not a clubhouse, it's not fun and games, it's people's livelihoods on the line. Several board members also suggested hostile attitudes and personality problems could be affecting the commission. Planning and zoning meetings regularly stretch past 10 p.m. and often involve heated arguments between members. Barr said she believed the meeting protocols adopted by the commission at its November meeting would help with those problems. But Simpson and Mayor Pro Tem Fred Brooks suggested the town could do more to encourage better attitudes. Alvarez suggested the board considered holding joint workshops with the Planning and Zoning Commission to exchange feedback. Lorraine Becker said she thought the town should consider going back to the pre-2012 rules for trustees so that they would only be paid for meetings they attend. Barr said the town board has not struggled to find a quorum the way the commission has, but Brooks said that could be an important topic for future discussion. Alvarez said she would conduct more research on the town's options for dealing with absent commission members and present the issues for further discussion at a later time.
According to the Durango Herald, a 22-year-old Durango man who drove his car off the road and hit a tree, killing a 17-year-old passenger, pleaded guilty Friday to vehicular homicide, a Class 3 felony. Benjamin Kale also pleaded guilty to 2 counts of careless driving causing bodily injury in 6th Judicial District Court. His sentence will be capped at 6 years in the Department of Corrections at the court's discretion. Authorities say Kale was driving a 2002 Audi S6 on the night of June 9th in the 200 block of Fur Drive in the Durango West 2 subdivision, where he failed to negotiate a turn and struck a tree. In a previous interview, Colorado State Patrol Captain Adrian Driscoll said excessive speed and alcohol are suspected in the crash. He was unable to say how fast Kale was driving. Mercedes Lynn Farley, age 17 of Durango, was taken to Mercy Regional Medical Center where she later died. She was the only passenger in the vehicle not wearing a seatbelt. Cale and passengers David Myers, age 20 of Durango, and Angela Rosales, age 23 of Durango, all suffered minor injuries. Cale is scheduled for sentencing February 16th.
According to a report in the Journal, a former polygamous sect leader was sentenced last Wednesday to nearly 5 years in prison for his role in carrying out an elaborate food stamp fraud scheme and for escaping home confinement while awaiting trial. The sentencing of Lyle Jeffs closes the book on a major government bust that took several years to investigate, culminating in February 2016 with fraud and money laundering charges against him and 10 other group members. Lyle Jeffs was accused of being the ringleader of a scheme that diverted some $11 million in food stamp benefits to a communal storehouse and front companies over several years. U.S. District Judge Ted Stewart said during a hearing in Salt Lake City that Lyle Jeffs deserved the 57-month prison sentence because his behavior showed he doesn't respect U.S. laws and puts his allegiance to his brother and the sex-imprisoned prophet, Warren Jeffs, above everything else. Stewart said Lyle Jeffs' religious beliefs provide context for his decision to, quote, blindly follow his brother's orders, but don't justify the fact that he cheated taxpayers out of government funds. Mr. Jeffs is an adult. He knows right from wrong, Stewart said. Lyle Jeffs is a lifelong member of the Mormon offshoot group based on the Utah-Arizona border known as the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or FLDS. Lyle Jeffs, 57, spoke briefly and said he accepted responsibility for his mistakes and that he erred in not properly researching food stamp fraud laws. He was ordered to pay $1 million in restitution, and he had previously pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit benefits fraud and failure to appear. The cases against the 10 other defendants ended in plea deals without prison time or were dismissed charges, but prosecutors made Lyle Jeffs their top priority from the outset. They dug in even more against him after he became a fugitive in June of 2016 after he slipped off an ankle monitoring device while out on supervised release. The FBI put up a $50,000 reward. He was caught in South Dakota a year later after pawn shop workers spotted him and called police. He said Lyle Jeffs and other leaders lived and ate well while lower-level group members suffered, using businesses and special instructions to members to try and conceal the scheme. Prosecutor Robert Lund said he hopes the sentence sends a strong message to Lyle Jeffs and other sect leaders that a, quote, culture of corruption in recent years won't be tolerated.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, District Judge William Herringer heard testimony and arguments Wednesday in a case involving a La Plata County man suspected of creating improvised explosive devices in his home earlier this year. Nicky Carrillo, age 53, was arrested February 28th at his home east of Elmore's Corner, where La Plata County Sheriff's deputies found 2 IEDs in his house while performing an eviction, according to an arrest affidavit. Carrillo was exempt from the eviction, which required all other occupants of the residence to leave. Sheriff's Office Sergeant Tom Cowing, who testified during Wednesday's motions hearing, said several deputies accompanied him to the residence to assist with multiple occupants believed to be living in the house and outbuildings. When the officers split up to search the house for occupants, one deputy found an IED on an end table in the living room, according to the affidavit. The explosive was described as a jelly jar filled with spark plugs and other nuts and bolts, according to the affidavit. On top of the jar was what appeared to be a hollowed-out light bulb or globe filled with an amber-colored liquid and a firecracker duct taped to the top of the globe. Coing said he found a second explosive device on a dresser in Carrillo's bedroom. The IED was a triangular piece of plastic with 3 shotgun shells attached to it and a firecracker taped to the shells, according to the affidavit. Coing said some of the deputies, who are Iraq war veterans, immediately recognized the devices as IEDs. Carrillo was then arrested for the explosive devices, Coing said. He was booked at the La Plata County Jail on suspicion of possessing incendiary devices. A bomb squad with the Farmington Police Department safely deactivated the IEDs later that day. Law enforcement later obtained a search warrant for the home and also seized 2 rifles. Carrillo, who has a previous felony conviction, is also charged with possession of a weapon by a previous offender. His trial is set for February 5th and 6th in district court. And now let's take a look at the weather.
It is still a tale of 2 weather patterns for the national weather map shown here from NOAA. The high pressure remains solid from the west through the middle of the country to the mid-Atlantic, but a mix of storms continues to batter the northeast back all along the Canadian border and back up to the Pacific Northwest, and also along the Gulf Coast. Gulf Coast, thunderstorms and rain will remain in the area of the southern ridge of low pressure as it works its way off the coast. Though we see a continued high pressure holding off precipitation, the temperatures will continue to be winter-like, resulting in cold, dry days ahead. Regionally, the National Weather Service states that some high clouds will drift over the region tonight, but significant precipitation is not expected until Thursday and onwards. Until then, partly to mostly cloudy skies will be common as temperatures slowly inch upwards. The much cooler temperatures will move in Thursday. Eastern Utah and western Colorado will be in between systems in the near term. Mid and high level moisture will move over the area, especially north, generating clouds but no precipitation. Moisture clouds decrease tonight and Tuesday, and expect temperatures to remain near to above normal early on in the week. Later in the week, a winter weather system approaches from the west. Forecast is confident that most locations in eastern Utah and western Colorado will see at least some snowfall in the Wednesday evening to Thursday timeframe. Beginning in the northern mountains by sunset on Wednesday, the bulk of the precipitation falling along and just after the passage of a cold front on Thursday morning. The way the front moves in is indicating high chances of snow prospects in the lower valleys of western Colorado, including Grand Junction to the Montrose corridor. This translates to around 2 to 4 inches at this time of projection. While confidence is high in the overall storm, exact storm totals are 50% of confidence level for now. All mountain zones should do well with this event, and we know that we need that snowpack for future water reserves as well as the ski industry. High confidence exists for at least 6 inches of snow in all ranges of western Colorado and eastern Utah, with higher totals possible in the central and northern mountains. Precipitation should come to an end around midnight on Friday in the central and southern mountains as the system departs to the east. Longer-term outlook for the region shows that after a dry day on Friday, the next trough will dive quickly southward and spread snows into the eastern Uintas, northern Colorado ranges by Friday evening. Strong northwesterly flow will result in another shot of accumulating snow in the mountains. However, confidence is low in exact totals due to the wide variation in their data. With another strong frontal passage, there will be another chance for some snow in the valleys as well. However, the Thursday snow is more definitive than what might happen on Saturday, according to the National Weather Service data predictions for now. So looking to our DCTV 5-day outlook, what we do know is that today it'll be sunny with a high near 46. North winds around 5 miles an hour, becoming west-northwest in the afternoon. Tonight mostly clear with a low around 21, north-northeast winds around 5 miles an hour. Tuesday also mostly sunny with a high near 49. North-northeast winds around 5 miles an hour, becoming west-southwest in the afternoon. Tuesday night mostly clear with a low around 24, south-southeast winds around 5. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 48 degrees, and then that blustery winter feeling will move in with south winds 5 to 15 miles an hour and gusts as high as 25 miles an hour. Wednesday night, the 30% chance of snow showers will happen after 11 p.m., mostly cloudy with a low around 25. Then Thursday in the daytime, 40% chance of snow showers, and you'll feel that temperature drop as we hit the winter solstice and the shortest day of the year. Partly sunny with a high of just near freezing at 34 degrees. Thursday night continues with a slight chance of snow showers before 11 p.m. Partly cloudy with a frigid low around 16 or 17 degrees. Again, be sure to keep your pipes and everything else from freezing, as these low estimates sometimes actually end up much lower in the outskirts of Dove Creek. Friday it'll be partly sunny with a high near 35 as the storm clears out, and Friday night mostly cloudy with a low down around 19. And for now, Saturday is predicted to be partly sunny with a high near 37. Saturday night partly cloudy with a chilly low around 15. And now back to the news.
Reported by the Durango Herald, children's injuries and deaths from window blinds have not stalled despite decades of safety concerns, according to a new U.S. study that recommends a complete ban on blinds with cords. Nearly 17,000 young children were hurt by window blinds between 1990 and 2015, and though most injuries were minor, almost 300 died, the study shows. Most deaths occurred when children became entangled or strangled by the cords. Injuries continued even after manufacturers adopted voluntary safety standards, including warning labels. The industry now has a plan in the works to make cordless blinds the only option at retail stores and online. The study should be a huge wake-up call to the public, to the retailers, to the manufacturers, and to parents all over the nation to really see how hazardous the cords are on the blinds are, said Linda Kaiser of St. Louis. Her 1-year-old daughter died in 2002 from strangulation when she pulled a looped hidden cord from a blind and put it around her neck. Kaiser later formed the advocacy group Parents for Window Blind Safety. While the study's data analysis doesn't show an up or down trend in injuries and deaths, the fact that they're still occurring shows that safety standards have been inadequate, said lead author Dr. Gary Smith, who directs injuries research at Nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbus, Ohio. Paul Nathanson, spokesman for the Window Covering Manufacturers Association, said a soon-to-be adopted industry standard, drafted with input from the Consumer Product Safety Commission, will make corded blinds unavailable in stores and online, although consumers could buy them through custom orders. The Safety Commission says windows and window blinds are among the top 5 hidden hazards in U.S. homes, and in a statement, it called the draft standard a major step forward in protecting children. That standard is awaiting approval by the American National Standards Institute and is expected to take effect by late 2018, Nathanson said. Smith said 20% are custom blinds and a total ban on corded blinds is needed. The study was published Monday in the journal Pediatrics.
The Durango Herald wrote about a pony rescue ranch in the Four Corners. Run by Vicki Paxton, she talks about the ponies on her farm as if they were her children. Each one has an official name on the registry of the Welsh Pony and Cob Society of America, but Paxton uses their barn names like Rocky and refers to them as her girls and boys. The 64-year-old Cortez resident has spent her entire life around horses. She has worked as a veterinary technician and an Arabian horse breeder, among other pursuits. About 6 years ago, she started Wee Haven Welsh Ponies, a Welsh mountain pony breeding operation on her property north of Cortez. Since then, the ponies raised on her farm have traveled to new homes all over the country, although several have been adopted by Montezuma County residents. Quote, they generally stay with families, Paxton said. I know the local people that I have sold a few to intend to keep them for their kids and grandkids. They're long-lived, they're hardy, and they're healthy. Paxton said she decided to switch to ponies after many years of breeding Arabians, and because they were easier to care for and friendlier to her grandchildren. Welsh ponies are often used as children's show horses because of their small size and gentle disposition, which also makes them popular with 4-H students. But Paxton said their unusual strength and toughness allows them to perform almost any task a larger horse could do. They also live to the age of 40 or more. The breed comes in a wide variety of colors, and Paxton said she believes she has one of each. There are fewer than 40 certified Welsh pony breeders in the U.S., according to the Welsh Pony and Cob Society website. Wee Haven is one of the only 2 in Colorado, and the only one that focuses on selling Welsh mountain ponies, the smallest type. Paxton said it's partly because there are so few breeders that the Welsh pony has remained relatively pure for centuries. According to the Society website, the ponies can trace their ancestry back to Wales before it was conquered by the Roman Empire. Horses aren't the only animals at Wee Haven. Paxton keeps a few dairy goats, a dog, and a few cats that catch mice around the farm. She also has kept an Arabian mare from the days when she bred Arabians, but ponies are always her priority. Paxton regularly drives a cart pulled by the ponies in the Montezuma County parades and other events. She welcomes visitors to her farm and is trying to arrange with local 4-H clubs to let students work on their horse projects there. Montezuma County may be losing its Welsh pony claim to fame soon, as Paxton's farm on Lebanon Road is for sale. She said she hopes to move her breeding operation closer to the Coffey family in Cajon. It's handier to have her daughter's family close by to help in case of emergency, she said. But even in her mid-60s, she has no plans to give up the business. So Dolores County may soon see an influx of pony activity. To learn more about Wee Haven Welsh Ponies, visit them online at weehavenwelshponies.com.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, BP American Production Company was fined $40,000 on Monday for a December 2016 spill near Bayfield that leaked coal bed methane produced water into Salls Creek. The penalty was levied at the Colorado Oil and Gas Conservation Commission's monthly meeting in Denver as part of the Commission's consent agenda, in which matters are not generally discussed by the board. According to state documents, regulators with the COGCC requested the fine after determining the spill violated several state regulations, notably failing to protect waters of the state from pollution. On the morning of December 13, 2016, BP was notified that a 6-inch fiberglass gathering line was found leaking at a site about 4 miles west of Bayfield on U.S. Forest Service land off County Road 527, Forest Road 608. At the time, BP could not say how long the spill had been occurring or how much produced water, a byproduct of oil and gas production, had been released into the surrounding area. BP claimed in a follow-up letter in March 2017 that it is likely the pipeline cracked suddenly and it was detected soon after it occurred. It is not clear how much produced water leaked as a result of the break. After discovering the spill, BP closed the line, shut down 17 wells, and constructed a temporary earthen dam to contain the produced water from spilling further downstream in Salls Creek. While BP claims Salls Creek, an intermittent stream that flows into Beaver Creek, a tributary of the Los Pinos River, was dry at the time of the spill, COGCC inspectors say the waterway contained runoff from snowmelt. Regardless, BP reported 2 days after the spill it had recovered at least 150 barrels, about 6,300 gallons, of produced water mixed with snowmelt.
The World Health Organization is taking a hard look at CBD next year, according to thecannabis.co. CBD, for now, should not be subject to international drug scheduling, a World Health Organization committee determined in an initial review of the cannabis compound. WHO's expert committee on drug dependence and said on Wednesday when they released findings and scheduling recommendations for more than a dozen substances reviewed at its annual meeting in early November. As part of those findings, the WHO committee announced plans to undertake a fuller review of cannabidiol in 2018. Quote, there is increased interest from member states in the use of cannabis for medical indications, including for palliative care. Responding to that interest and increase in use, WHO has in recent years gathered more robust scientific evidence on therapeutic use and side effects of cannabis and cannabis components. To that end, the ECDD did an initial review of a cannabis compound called cannabidiol, or CBD. Recent evidence from animal and human studies shows that its use could have some therapeutic value for seizures due to epilepsy and related conditions. Current evidence also shows that cannabidiol is not likely to be abused or create dependence as for other cannabinoids, such as tetrahydrocannabinol, or THC, for instance. The ECDD therefore concluded that current information does not justify scheduling of cannabidiol and postponed a fuller review of cannabidiol preparations to May of 2018, when the committee will undertake a comprehensive review of cannabis and cannabis-related substances. The initial official guidance falls in line with expert recommendations published prior to the ECDD's November 6th through 10th meeting in Geneva, Switzerland. Plans for a deeper review of CBD in May by ECDD will coincide with a previously scheduled evaluation of the cannabis plant and its components. The 40th ECDD meeting is scheduled for May of 2018, and Committee Secretariat Dekulshi Puvendran told the Cannabis via email that the meeting's special session on cannabis will include pre-reviews of the following substances: cannabis plant and cannabis resin, extracts and tinctures of cannabis, delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, or THC, and isomers of THC. Cannabidiol is not listed explicitly as a controlled substance in the 1961 United Nations Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs or the 1972 Protocol amending the Single Convention. However, the international body lists the cannabis plant and cannabis resin as Schedule 1 and Schedule 4 substances, the two most restrictive categories. Cannabis extracts and cannabis tinctures are also listed solely as Schedule 1, which does account for therapeutic potential. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration and U.S. Health and Human Services agencies are monitoring what develops out of the ECDD. HHS is expected to hold off on making recommendations of its own until the final determinations are submitted to the Commission on Narcotic Drugs.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of December 11th through the 17th. A purse that was reported missing was found and returned to its owner. A health agency requested a welfare check on a patient. A deputy made contact and all was okay. A motorhome was reported as broken down on Highway 491 at Road 8.9. Upon arrival, the deputy found the vehicle running and on the road. While on patrol, a deputy found and cleared debris from the middle of Highway 491 at Cross Canyon. A town resident called reporting a mountain lion behind a residence on East 7th Street. Deputies responded to the area but were unable to locate it. A large yellow cat, however, was seen. That concludes today's roundup. Stay tuned for continued updates.
Today's High Canyon Country happenings. The Cortez Cultural Center is hosting Scots, Kuna, and Spaniards, Scotland's failed colony in Panama from 1698 to 1700. That's happening December 20th, Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Join Dr. Julie Orr for a presentation on her upcoming book on Scotland's disastrous attempt to establish a trading entrepot on the Isthmus of Panama at the end of the 17th century. Donations are encouraged for entrance. Also, an open house artist reception will be held at the Cortez Cultural Center on December 21st, called The Dark Corner, an exploration of self through the people and struggles in the Great Southwest. Mixed media artwork is by Tim Calkins. You can visit him online at timcalkinscreative.com. The artist reception open house runs from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Wine and snacks are provided. Tim Calkins is a Michigan native who's lived in Cortez for 6 years. His style incorporates a variety of hand and digital processes he's learned while merging the line of design and fine art. For more details, visit cortezculturalcenter.org. And Wednesday, December 20th is the Dolores County Rock, reaching out to community and kids turkey giveaway. No early birds, please. 1 turkey per proof of residence, starting at 5 p.m. at the Rock Building on Highway 491. The group wants everyone who needs to have a bird for the holidays to enjoy a Christmas dinner of abundance. For more information, go to their Facebook page, Facebook/Dove Creek Rocks. And all of these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with a YouTube replay, weather and original stories, and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. Send us an email at dcbnnews@gmail.com, or you can call us at the station 970-677-4119, and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Wednesday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 3, and 6.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.